Morning Glory, America. Bonjour, hi, Canada. Hugh Hewitt live in Studio North. This morning's news item says that there are only really 24 competitive races in the House of Representatives. One of them is Wisconsin 3, where Derrick Van Orden, a newly elected Republican serving his first term, is battling to defend against a tidal wave of black dark money coming after him. Good morning, Congressman. It's good to have you back. Tell us about the battle in Wisconsin's 3rd Congressional District.
Well, good morning, Hugh. It's great to be here. You called it, man. You called the ball. We're in a slugfest right here. We've got millions of dollars coming in from these dark PACs and super PACs. And what's interesting is that the person I'm running against was on the board of one of them. And I'm not sure that that's ethical or legal. But yeah, I'm running against a Democrat that is claiming to be just a farm girl, and she was raised on a farm, but then she disappeared for about 20 years. Turned out she was a fundraiser for extremists in California and Minnesota, and she still owns a political consulting company. So, honest to goodness, I'm running against Tim Walz here in Wisconsin. Just absolutely untruthful about her background and willing to do anything she can to get personal political power. And Wisconsinites, we just don't want that. We want someone that's going to tell the truth about their background, go to Washington, D.C. and fight for them, not for Nancy Pelosi and George Soros.
Now, Derrick, the website is vanordenforcongress.com, vanordenforcongress.com. I am curious how much you're getting in-state and how much is coming from out of state. A lot of people love a seal, but a lot of people love you because you are very, very upfront and direct with not only your constituents, but the whole country.
Yes, it's time for truth-telling. People want to hear the truth. And honest to goodness, the Chinese Communist Party doesn't care what your pronouns are. They don't. And the Biden administration has run our military into the ground. The border is wide open. President Trump came to my hometown about a mile away from here because a member of the Tre de Aragua, the Venezuelan international gang, was let into the country with gang tattoos, went to Minnesota, up to Minneapolis, and got rolled up, but was released because they're a sanctuary city. The sheriff in Dane County, which is incredibly liberal, had a bunch of warrants out for this guy's arrest for things including strangulation. Then he made his way here to Little Prairie du Chien and brutalized a mother and her daughter over a period of days. So these things just didn't need to happen. We've got the folks are coming here that are destroying our nation intentionally under Harris border czardom. It's having a telling effect, and we simply don't want that here. We want a secure, prosperous, and safe America.
Now, Congressman Kamala Harris is on 60 Minutes tonight. Last night, the vice president, there were clips released in which she refuses to say Netanyahu is an ally. You have been in combat. Do you know who your allies are when you're in combat?
Unquestionably.
What do you think of Netanyahu?
I think he's done more to help protect America in the last 3 months than Biden did in the last 4 years. So Benjamin Netanyahu is defending his people, and he is attacking the people that hate America. They're responsible for killing the person that bombed our barracks in Beirut and killed so many Marines and actually civilians also. So he is doing what we should have been doing, and that is ruthlessly rooting out the people that want to destroy us for who we are. And today is the one-year anniversary of the water.
Go
Hugh,
ahead, Congressman.
I was the first member of the United States government and the only member of the United States government that was in Israel immediately following the attacks, unless they were stationed there. And I went there for some very specific reasons. I knew that the international community was going to turn their back on Israel. I knew that the Biden administration was going to turn their back on Israel, and they have. And we simply cannot do that. The Israeli people don't just simply have the right to exist. They have the right to live in peace and freedom. And we have to clearly acknowledge that. They're our strongest, most trustworthy ally in the most troubled region of the world, and they have been for decades.
Now, Congressman Van Orden, President Trump is coming up next hour on the program. He can tell people himself what he thinks about Israel. I am curious about Wisconsin and whether you think you're going to win, Eric Hovde's going to win, and Donald Trump's going to win in Wisconsin.
We are. We are going to win because this election is about gas, groceries, and grandkids. The American public cannot afford the first two anymore, and we're worried about the future for our children and our grandchildren. And President Trump has a proven record of making life better for American citizens, period. And I have a very solid record of really bipartisanship in Congress, making sure that I represent all of my constituents. President Trump represents all Americans. Eric Hovde is going to do the same thing. I've known him for years, and he's a very good man. So the worm has turned, and people now truly understand that this election is so incredibly important that if we lose this election, I'm not sure what's going to happen to the United States after that. If you look at what the Biden Harris, or I call it the Harris Harris administration, has done to this country over the years, it may be irrecoverable if they get 4 more years in power. And Americans know that.
Congressman, I tell people, I don't think the republic will end, but I think we will lose our ability to keep pace with the People's Republic of China, and that Xi Jinping will go for our throat. Not invading, not destroying, but simply our economic throat, and that we won't get that advantage. But he will take Taiwan. But do you agree with my assessment? We will lose superpower status relative to China if Harris is elected.
Well, you can argue that we already have. So Xi Jinping is doing what he wants in the Asia Pacific region, the Indo-Pacific region. And there's nothing right now we can seemingly do to thwart that. The United States Navy was incapable of manning 11 ships. Those were 4 deployed supply ships, but without those, we can't move material. And if the Navy can't man their ships, then China's going to have their way in the Indo-Pacific region. So they're very, very serious players. I cannot imagine Kamala Harris or Waltz sitting across the table from Xi Jinping trying to negotiate the freedom of Taiwan. Can you?
No. Now, I can't imagine her sitting down with Putin, sitting down with Xi, sitting down with anybody, actually. I think probably the president of Mexico will get the better of her in terms of Mexican-U.S. relations on border. Let me close this way, Derrick. Small dollars matter, but it's best if you explain it to them why. I think you're in an expensive district. Tell people about it.
Yes, I'm in a very expensive district. There's going to be probably $30 or $40 million spent in this race in southwestern Wisconsin because the Democrats want the seat back. So people need to go to vanordenforcongress.com, vanordenforcongress.com, and every dollar helps. I have 4 media markets in this district, and in order to get the truth out, we have to pay for advertising. It's just that simple. If people go to vanordenforcongress.com, they're going to see who I am. They're going to be able to contribute to this campaign, and they're going to be able to fight for the freedom. Also, I want people to go out and vote early. President Trump hopefully will be saying that to you later today. So get out and vote early so that we can apply our limited resources to the folks who haven't voted yet and make sure that they understand the truth so they can get out and vote and fight for the country in the ballot box. That's what we want people to do. We want them to fight.
You're the first one to explain why early voting. I've had a lot of candidates on. They all say vote early, but you just nailed it. So I want you to repeat it. When someone votes, the campaigns know, and then they don't have to send a volunteer. They don't have to make a phone call. They don't have to get the car. They've banked your vote, and they can go elsewhere. That's the first time someone said that on the air.
Let me do it in 30 seconds. So there's high propensity and low propensity voters. If you're a high propensity voter, Hugh is, and you're a Republican, I can see that you voted. I can't see who you voted for, but I can see that Hugh Hewitt voted. I don't have to apply resources to him, and I can go to Hugh's neighbor, who is a low propensity Republican voter, and make sure that they understand what's going on so that they can vote. Therefore, I save resources. We are fiscally responsible Republicans, and that is a fiscally responsible thing to do.
It's so smart to do. But Derrick Van Orden, keep coming back. VanOrdenForCongress.com. Get them some hard dollars. Hard dollars go a lot farther than soft dollars. Yeah, there's big money flowing in. But if VanOrdenForCongress.com gets enough small dollar donors, $25, $50, $100, $200, whatever you can, he will stretch that. It goes much farther than the dark money does. Thank you, Congressman Van Orden.